Buckle up because today is a yapping video. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the new school that's coming to Bloxburg and will the school save Bloxburg? The reason I'm making a video about this is because a lot of people are starting to post about the concurrent players of Bloxburg and how it has decreased a lot lately. There are a couple reasons to this, one being that people are just in school, but also Bloxburg is not getting a lot of updates right now. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Robuilds. I am a partnered content creator with Bloxburg. I have some insight. Maybe I can share some of it. I'm not really sure how much I can share. The first thing I will say is that you guys might have seen that on Bloxburg's social media, they have posted a get ready with me. And if you do follow other YouTubers and content creators, then you might have seen that some of us have been posting get ready with me's as well. So do what you will with that information. And we're also going to be talking about the player count and what you guys want to see from Bloxburg and why so many of you have actually left the game. I do want to mention one thing. I have no script. This is literally purely yapping. Like, I don't know where this is gonna go. The first thing I'm going to say is that the Roblox player base has greatly shifted, is the best way I can explain it. If you look at 2020 and then you look at now and the most popular games, you can kind of tell. Specifically Steal a Brain Rot. It is the most popular game right now on Roblox. It has beaten Grow a Garden. The name itself just explains to you how much has shifted in 5 years. I think with the concurrent players right now in Bloxburg, we're kind of wondering if the school is going to help or hurt the game. I have an idea of what's happening with the school because we do have meetings, if you guys did not know. So I do know kind of what's going on. I've seen the school, actually. I haven't seen it when it's complete, but I have seen the school. I do know what's going to be involved in the school. I obviously cannot share that information with you guys, but personally, I do think it's going to help the game. But I think what Bloxburg really needs right now is just more updates and more role-playing opportunities. Because if you look at Brookhaven, they have a lot of things that are just around the city that are not empty buildings, and Bloxburg has a lot of those right now. A lot of people are asking for a school. We are getting a school, and I think people have been asking for that for so many years that they're going to be happy that there is a school, but then they're going to want a hospital, and then they're going to want like other things around the town that they can use as well. Personally, I think upping the player amount, because it is still at 12, and they did mention that we are going to see an increase at some point, just depends on how the performance is. I think they're waiting until the school comes out. I think this is going to take a lot of strength for devices is my guess. So they're probably waiting and then maybe we'll expand from there. But I don't want you guys to forget that we have neighborhoods and those neighborhoods can fit 75 people. So if you want a school to be an actual school role play, I think the best bet for now at least is to play in a neighborhood. My hope is that when this school comes out, we're also going to get more updates afterwards to continue the flow and to keep people engaged. I think it's time for the monthly updates to go, and I think we need at least 2 updates a month. I think with people's retention nowadays, especially because like we have YouTube Shorts, TikTok, Instagram Reels, all that short form vertical content, people just want to see more. And then on top of that, with the whole concurrent players thing, people don't want to work for Bloxburg cash anymore, and I don't blame you. If I was not getting Bloxburg cash from the devs every single month, I might be posting less. I would have to work for my Bloxburg cash, and it does take a long time. It does, I'm aware, and hopefully in the future we could see like ×2 weekends. Maybe we'll see other opportunities for jobs. Maybe it'll make jobs easier, at least make the jobs more fun. And this is my argument, and I have brought this up with Bloxburg, is that a lot of kids do not want to come back from school just to have to work on their favorite game to then build or to then role play. People just don't have that patience anymore, and you want to have fun when you're playing a game. I think the work right now is too tedious. Let me know if you guys agree with me on that. Overall, I do think that the school is going to help the game. I just think that we need consistent updates afterwards, because otherwise it might slow down and people might be disappointed. I just really hope to see what happened when we got the map update. We had hundreds of thousands of people playing the game that first week. I'd love to see that more often. Like, imagine having at least 100,000 people a day on Bloxburg. It would be incredible. I actually posted on my community tab a question. So I said, for those that don't play Bloxburg as often anymore, what would make you come back and play more? This is something I've been very curious about, so we're gonna go through these. Feel free to give me your opinions in the comments, and I do share a lot of like suggestions to Bloxburg. So if you have any suggestions for the game, please put them in the comments because I might share them. The neighborhoods are lacking community. More reasons to get out of build mode are needed. We need more build plots with small working corner cafes in the center of Riverside Estates and Bloxacres. I understand the neighborhoods are lacking community. I think people just don't understand that we have the neighborhoods. People, I don't think, know that they can search here. They might just see the top ones. Like, look, we have a high school roleplay right here. But you can search. It's just the second tab. It just doesn't say search. I think that might be the problem. But look, you can see there's 73 out of 75 people in an active family roleplay. Luxury hotel roleplay, 48 people. There are these communities that are here. I don't think people either label them correctly or people just don't know that there is a tab to find neighborhoods, because the first one you go to is your recents, and this just has like a little tab. It doesn't say search neighborhoods, and I think that might help. So let me know what you think about that. More reasons to get out of build mode. I do agree. I think a lot of people build their stuff because there isn't that in the game yet or in the map yet. There's a lot of empty buildings on the map right now, and hopefully we'll start to see more changes on the map, more functional areas, I guess. I think if everything was more functional in the town, the people from the plots or the neighborhood sides would come into the center and see each other more. But I also think the map is so large that a regular public server can be kind of bland because you can't see where people are because the map is so big. I do like the size of the map, and a lot of people still complain that they're lost on the map. If you just zoom out with your character and then drive around, you can look how much you can see. Assuming that you can see this far out, depends on your device. You can see quite a bit from just driving around and zoomed out. It just takes time to understand the map. But I know people are asking for a GPS as well. I do agree. I think we need at least something, some sort of map that you can open up and it shows like everyone's icons or something. I don't know, just to show where you are at least. I think things being a little bit cheaper in the Bloxburg cache, or people role playing more instead of building 24/7. It's expensive and it's hard to make money on the game. It makes it hard to want to build, you know? More people role playing instead of building. That is always an issue with public servers. You never know who's going to be just looking for role plays or someone's going to be building. And I think that's why we have the neighborhoods now, is so you can find a building server, so you can find a roleplay server. Again, people just don't know about the neighborhoods, at least in my opinion. I just don't find much to do anymore, but I'd maybe come back if there are more creative role players or just role players in general and more things to build with. I was usually making the same things all the time. I think an update with certain item theme drops would be cool, like a bakery update. I do agree with this. We have building and we have role playing. I really think we need mini games inside of the game. I think that the working job should feel more like Papa's Pizzeria, you know, like that type of interactivity, at least with the jobs. But then also mini games, we just need those like little interactive pieces instead of just walking around opening doors. We just need to be more interactive with the game itself. Right now it feels like we have to entertain ourselves a little bit, if that makes sense. A lot of these comments, because I have kind of like read through them already, is that a lot of people just want people to roleplay with. But the thing is, Bloxburg doesn't have as many roleplay items as other games. Berry Avenue and Brookhaven are some of the top roleplay games right now because they have a lot more roleplay items. Like I know Berry Avenue at least has luggage that you can roll around like you're traveling or something, and we don't even have luggage that we can pull around. If Bloxburg were to give us more of those interactive items and build mode items that are more interactive, I think that would really increase the player count, just at least for the role players right now. And then for new items like a bakery update, 100% agree. We got like makeup items, that should have been a full-blown spa update. We need niche updates like that. Some people might not want a medieval update. Well, we have the medieval update as like the main chunk, but then I think there should also be a little bit of like sprinkled in items that are just kind of like casual items, so then the builders still have something to work with if they don't at least like that theme for that update, if that makes sense. But I do think more themed updates, like I loved the garden update that came out where you could can things. We got the blueberries, we got the strawberries, the bee colony or whatever, so you could harvest honey. That was like one of my favorite updates, and I think we need more like that. Maybe more events like Christmas elf hunt and the Halloween tickets one, maybe like different things for summer, find shells, or for Easter, egg hunts. Yes, I do agree. I think they're saying that because of the live updates. Live events have really changed the game for Roblox because they are literally weekly in so many games. Bloxburg does need at least some more live events or just like stuff like the elf hunt. I do agree with that one. I promise you I'm on your side. I literally share things with Bloxburg all the time. They're probably annoyed with me. Update weekly or just more often in general. Every update doesn't need to be big. It would be nice to have the devs update more often. Weekly updates would be nice, even if it's just a few items. Like just give us something weekly. 5 build mode items, 5 roleplay items. I know I'm not a dev. I know it takes long to create things. With everyone's attention, I think the weekly updates would be nice. And let me know what you guys think too. Like, would you like weekly updates with a smaller release, or would you like one monthly update? Recently, I switched over to The Sims because I was tired of working for money. I think if I earned more money, then I would come back to Bloxburg. That one just hurt the game so badly. And then we got all like the protests and everything. I think that alone put a bad reputation on the game, and I think that's another reason why the game has less players now. Again, it just goes back to the money issue. People don't want to work as long as they have to to be able to build something to be able to roleplay in. And I want to know, this is just a question to you guys, what do you want to see from content creators as well? I feel like because the player count has dropped, so has the activity on my channel. What do you guys want to see, and what do you want to see on my channel that could potentially bring you back to Bloxburg? Do you want tutorials? Do you want specific role plays? Do you want me to build certain things? I love this game. I really, really do. But I want to know what you guys want to watch and what's going to make you excited to play the game. Quests like DTI with voice acting and animations. I definitely think quests would be fun. We did have a quest for Halloween. It was either last year or the year before that. I really, really enjoyed that. Would love to do that again. The voice acting and animations 100%. The hard thing about voice acting, if you have someone voice a specific character, you can't get anybody else to voice that character. So you have to hope that that person isn't going to like all of a sudden stop voice acting or stop taking commissions. I think that's why Bloxburg hasn't done it. I really, really want to do a show, but if I do a show, I have to rely on those people to continue voice acting that same character. I think the same thing goes with Bloxburg, and if they were to do voice acting in the game, Bloxburg, I'm always here, just saying. I think it'd be fun, but I do see the other side of that. Ooh, this is a good one. For me, it would be more textures to choose from instead of going to Pinterest and having to find the right textures. Yes. So many of us are using like decals to make wallpaper and stuff like that. I agree with that one. I think we need more just like realistic textures, and I want to be able to place textures like on the floor without needing Transform Plus. Having more realistic textures would help the game, and I know they're realizing that because they're starting to give us more of those, but I think some of us want to see like more of those wallpaper type textures or like rug textures, stuff like that. It's exhausting going to Pinterest or going to like social media to find like codes and stuff like that. It would be nice to just have it in the game. I want to go into a little segue. I think a lot of people, when it comes to building and having like the basic shapes and everything, is that people are kind of intimidated by building now because so many people are realistic with their builds. I feel like a lot of people are comparing themselves to those realistic builders. I do it myself, I will admit that. So sometimes I'm building and I'm like, are you guys gonna like what I'm building? Does it look bad? I start comparing. If we were to have more of those resources where it really does look like a nice item or a nice texture, a nice decal, having that already in the game would help us so much. We don't have to find all those like transparent plant decals by ourselves, where we don't have to go searching for something outside of the game. Would help us maybe feel better about our building. I'm not really sure. Hopefully that got across. I'm seeing a lot of like more people to roleplay with. Really big part of the community is roleplaying. The town center is laggy. I know they are having some lag issues still. There's actually a new update. I think it was while I was at RDC, they announced some sort of update when it came to lag. So maybe Bloxburg will implement that into the game. Overall, it just sounds like Bloxburg is kind of slow. They've been working on the map and they've been working on the school. They're also working on some other stuff behind the scenes that I cannot share, but I think they need to prioritize maybe more frequent updates. I think after the school is done, maybe they're gonna have more time to focus on some of those more like specific updates. At least from a player perspective, that would be a smart thing to do. Just the map and the school have been taking up so much time because of how big these things are that it's slowing down the other parts of Bloxburg, but they're not balancing them at the same time, and I think that's where it's hurting the game. So hopefully after the school is out, things will start to look better again. So will the school save Bloxburg? I hope so. I am very optimistic with it. After this school comes out though, they really, really need to focus on the role playing, the building, just the community part of the game, and bringing the player base back.